Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Julie's Orchids. So yes, this is, we'll call it day 3, and I'm going through my orchids and seeing which ones were the ones that were smelly when I watered them. Now, I realized that I just got this plant back in August, and it's not been in its pot for very long. But one thing important about this bark is that this bark already smells, and there are very few pieces that you can't just break. And of course, I'm going to pull off the 1 or 2 pieces that you can't easily break. And they're just crumbling, most of them. And this is the condition that this bark came to me new in. I used it because, it was all that I had. And now I have something different. So I'm going to repot this little one into inorganic media. Now I will say one thing about this one. This one was watered on Saturday, and it has pretty well absorbed, or the roots have ate all of the water out of the bottom. But we do have new root growths going on. We've got new growths going on. So I do think this is still a good time for this repot to occur. And so I'm hoping that I can just gently pull this one right on out, because like I said, this has only been in this pot since August, late August at that. And yeah, that doesn't look too bad. So these roots don't look too shabby, but we've got some nice growing tips going here. A little growing tip growing on that right there, and I just really don't want to lose that one, so we're going to leave that put. That's a bit of a dead root there. So I think I'm just going to do a quick little cleanup at the sink on this one, and I'm going to again reuse the same little pot, throw all this media out, and try to salvage these decorative river stones that are in the bottom. And I'm just going to do this just straight full of pumice. Okay, so you can see we've got pretty well most all of the bark off of there, but I'm seeing that these roots off this back oldest pseudobulb are really quite mushy. So I'm just going to cut them off so I don't have them going bad in the inorganic setup. And this is kind of normal for these little ones here in the back, the oldest roots, to die off. So we're just going to get those cut off there. Now these ones, even though they're dark, they're still firm, except for that one right there. Not so firm. And this branch of that one is dead there. Now I do think this is good timing because, as you can see, we've got some little roots growing. This one right there is bad. And the rest of these, really pretty well feel fairly firm and okay. So I'm going to say this is good for here. And I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to dump off and clean off my working tray. So as we can see here, that this plant has got multiple directions of new growth coming out of it. And that's the general shape there. So what I'm going to do is kind of try to squeeze it. Maybe just put it back in the way I had it, just sort of like that. I'm going to keep this way because I've got my drainage holes back there. And yeah, I think I'm going to do something right about there like that. Now what I want to do with this one, because I'm really expecting these older roots here to possibly die off, but I want them to be seated quite well within the pumice. So I actually think I'm just going to kind of have it to where the older roots are still touching the bottom, maybe with a small layer of pumice over the top of that. Okay, so I decided to do the small layer of pumice on the bottom. And what I've got here is just sort of a mixture of what I had left from the last couple of repots that we've been doing. It's mostly this small gravelly bit, and I'm just going to use this mix kind of as it is, just sitting here in my strainer to hopefully get it mostly used up. So I'm just going to put a small little layer of that right here like this. And I'm hopefully not going to be losing this little gravelly bits through the drain holes in the back, but I guess we'll broach that if and when we need to. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this just a little sit right down here. And I might, let's see here. How can we do this? Yeah, I still think it's best to just let it go as it was, just kind of longing itself out like that. There's still room for growth here, here, and here. There's nothing coming off the side, so I'm just going to bring this bit to the back because there is new growths coming off the front there. And now we're just going to gently fill her on up. So the hope is that I don't kill the little roots that are growing, because there are some tips growing, but I don't have an appropriately shaped container to put this in to get that water layer like Nina shows. I'm just going to give these a little bit of a push underneath the plant. And now I think I can give it a little turnaround. So I'm going to aim for right in there. Gently poke those down into those roots. Trying to be very, very gentle. I could go for a little bit more right there. So now what I'm going to do now, again like we did beforehand, is use some of the pretty river stone to kind of hold the plant in place and B, sort of help keep the humidity levels and the moisture down. So I have different sizes of these river stones that I get at my local big box store, Bunnings. Bunnings is the Home Depot Lowe's equivalent back in the States, and I'm not sure what the equivalent is in Europe. But I like the Bunnings here because they have sausage sizzles on the weekend, and you can go get a sausage. And that's always, they do it for charity so that you can support your different charities that you might like through the Bunnings sausage sizzle. Our orchid group had a sausage sizzle. That was before I joined them, and I think that if they do it again, I would like to help run the sausage sizzle and meet all the people that come through the Bunnings. Alrighty, so there we have it. Brasiliorchis, schunkeana, I think, is all nicely potted up. We've got our little new growths coming. We've got roots in the pot. And I'm quite happy with the way it looks again. So another genus of species, genus and a species orchid in inorganic growing media as an experiment here at Julie's Orchids. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. A subscribe would be nice. I want to thank you for watching, and everybody have a happy, lovely day. Bye.